Here right now for sure.
Rich and their two parties. We're hosting a conference this Saturday with those three speakers.
Sure.
And it's about taxing the billionaires for free healthcare and affordable housing that we cannot move back into the Democratic Party.
Absolutely, yeah.
We need a new party of our own.
For sure. Cool. Thank you.
Woo! 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 Woo!
Entire face.
And then he became
citizens or who's around you and your neighbors. The signs are for us to read, but not that close. So please watch out for one another. Also, there was a drone flying around here. If that was you, please don't have a drone flying around here. It is not allowed. All right. All right. We're going to move on now to the last little bit here. We're about a half an hour left standing here together and being loud. As I said at the beginning of everything here, we were going to spend some time today singing, thanks to our choruses. We're going to spend some time today here speaking, and we were going to spend some time today here chanting. All right, I think you all know what's coming next. I'm going to say something, and this time we're going to get it right. Federal workers! We did it! When democracy is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When democracy is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
And I think we've all heard of it at this point, and again, I'm repeating what I said earlier, but we know why we're here. We know that what is happening to federal workers and to the American public is a travesty that demands we all take action. We must be loud, we must be clear, and we must be as forceful as we can be in this moment, because hope is not lost.
Woo! Woo!
Hope is loud. Let's be loud. All right, so if you are a federal worker, or someone who works with a federal worker, or someone who is married to a federal worker, or related to a federal worker, somehow connected with what is going on, please step up.
Thanks so much, everybody. I have cancer. There is no cure for the cancer that I have. I would not be standing here today after 19 years ago going through a research study that kept me alive. I was recently on another research study until it ended last week.
Oh.
Coincidence? I don't think so. There's another research study coming up that I hope that I can participate in, but it is absolutely critical that we hold the government to account to stop slashing funds for research that saves lives of children and people like me that have cancer. It is absolutely crucial. What do we do when democracy is under attack?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do when democracy is under attack?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do when democracy is under attack? Thank you all for being here. Thanks for your support.
Woo!
Hello everyone, my name is Mike Hodge. My younger brother is dead. About 95 decades. And so I'm not a federal employee, but deaf federal employees are losing their ASL interpreters that allow them to work. Deaf federal employees are being let go. My brother will have no access to services from the federal government without ASL interpreters. And on a second note, the first action of RFK Jr. was to attack SSRIs and other psychiatric medicines that help my family that many people know for this non-scientific attack on things that help people survive. What are we doing? Stand up! Stand up!
Fight back. Woo!
My job was to maintain highways and parks around the kingdom for medical and casualty evacuation missions with the Washington State National Guard and 16th Combat Aviation Group. With the funding of aviation regulates not just civilian aviation, but also military aviation. You guys know
so good. Yeah, my grandma was an artist and early, and still to be is like art appreciation and stuff. Yeah, no, he's one of my favorites.
That was just fun. I got a couple caps and a mask.
Yeah.
I didn't do a sweatshirt.
This wasn't from there. It was actually from an EDM rave.
Oh, wow.
And like nothing was art related except for this.
I think I got socks like that too.
I have the stream socks.
Oh, I got a T-shirt of the
as we wrap things up here, I just want to reiterate again what our calls to action are. As you leave today, make sure you do these things. Once I give you our calls to action, the Evergreen Resistance is going to come up to get their calls to action. And you demand that they forcefully speak out against the unelected billionaire having undue influence on and control over our government's data, personnel, and payment systems. We didn't elect Musk. He shouldn't be there. With Musk's private enterprise masquerading as a government agency. Call and demand that your representatives support any legal challenges or investigations into Musk and call and demand that they halt all work in Congress until this unconstitutional power grab stops. And for those of us here in Washington, you have to still call, even though Senators Murray and Cantwell are Democrats, you still have to call. Let them know that we want more actions like holding the Senate floor for 30 hours. Let them know that we're willing to be the sand in the gear of government until this all stops. If you are the American people, put on that sign what federal workers do for you or what federal programs do for you. Take a selfie with the sign and then put it on your social media with the hashtag Save Our Services. And if you're looking for something to do on Fridays, you've already made it to the location every Friday from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. There is an indivisible group here rallying to make people realize what the federal government does for you. Federal Fridays. Paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of the future. Pass on, my friend. On our way out, we have the Seattle Raging Grannies here. And again, thank you all for coming today. This is crucially important for us to be out here, to be loud. Hope is loud. Let's be loud.
Woo! Yes, right on.
bathroom stall. What do y'all think of this? I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, there's no semblance of privacy for these stalls.
Healthcare workers for transparent freedom.
Welcome. I'm so excited to into this intentional space. This event was co-created by a grassroots coalition of leaders who are united in our commitment to protecting bodily autonomy and the right for all to live with dignity, choice, and protection from harm. I want to start by thanking our large and growing group of volunteers who have made this event possible. Please join me in thanking volunteers by keeping a low impact on the space you're in, as we are guests here. There are folks living in this space and we want to be mindful of that. We appreciate your help in cleaning up as we go, and at the end of the event, if you're willing and able to ensure we pick up all our personal items and throw out trash, that'd be great. I want to point out that all the supplies here are donated, were bought with community funds, and every person you see contributing is a volunteer. I especially want to thank our core leaders, our ASL interpreters, for helping make this event accessible. We also have additional events planned. Please keep your eyes out for more as you learn how to get involved. We have snacks and toys in the shelter here, so please come join us. We have an amazing lineup today of visionaries and artists who are all here today to share their work with you. We're also going to have room for a couple of you to also come up and speak your thoughts. So if you'd like to share something, know that we have time today to include you in the middle of our event. At the end, we'll be led by a spiritual leader for a few minutes of silence. I'll close us out with some final thoughts. Across this country, we are witnessing an assault on the most vulnerable among us, our trans youth. Laws are being passed that seek to deny them the healthcare they need, the dignity they deserve, and the very foundation of their futures. But if history has taught us anything, it's this: no law, no ban, no act of cruelty can erase who we are. To every trans young person hearing my voice, we're worthy, we're valuable, no politician or corporate can take that away from you. Woo! Necessity to survive in generations of attempted erasure. We've always found ways to survive, to love each other fiercely, and to create joy from ash. It's not enough to just rally for a right to exist. We now demand that we integrate our rights to fight for fair labor, the need for education, the choice to vote, a visible, viable pathway to citizenship, the abolition of prison, and for every individual, the right to love yourself, others, and technology. We will not stop now.
Woo!
We found liberation in the chosen families that great moments when we thought we had nowhere to go. We found liberation formed from our elders who studied the pavement with high heels and boots, helping us find our way back. And we see the liberation in our queer pastors, our former queer and trans youth, who dare dream of a world where they are validated for the magic they are. Because our young don't need our validation to know who they are, but they need our validation to live safely as who they are. And it's the responsibility of every adult, whether or not that young person is known to you or not. So let's keep showing up for one another. Let today be a day where you see yourself in a growing community, where you are never too much and you're always enough. Because no matter what they say, we're here, we've always been here, we are never going away. Thank you for joining us.
Woo.
Let me go ahead and introduce our first speaker tonight. Welcoming now S, who's a nurse, works with trans young people. They're here to speak today as a healthcare worker, trans person, and a person who wants
There's names I know and names I don't know. I'm sitting with the loss and the joy that is here today. I want to talk about my friend Norma. To do that, I need to connect the demands of our community to protect and defend young trans people to how trans people are criminalized and incarcerated. We have been here before. Queerness and transness have been criminalized, is still criminalized for many, and now laws are being written and reborn to try to broaden the scope of their harm. This issue disproportionately affects Black, Latina, and Native LGBTQ+ lives. This issue includes our family incarcerated in Palestine, undocumented folks, and those incarcerated around the world due to imperialist transphobia.
I belong to the Church of the Universe.
There's also a link between unstable housing and incarceration. LGBTQ+ people are more likely to have unstable housing, which then causes them to be criminalized and can lead to incarceration. Then after being released, there is little affordable housing to return to. It's harder to get a job, and one has to reintegrate and rebuild community. We need to work to secure housing for all. What this time requires of us is creativity and connection. Incarceration and criminalization tries to make people invisible. It tries to disappear them. My friend Norma is one of those people this system tried to disappear. But we will not forget or abandon. This is a poem from my friend who recently died. For Norma. I met Norma by chance. I chose her name off a safety scissor cut up list of names of people to write to at a black and pink holiday event. I don't even remember what I told her. Probably about how I hate driving in the snow, or that I hoped that I would get some new kitchen gadget for Christmas, or that I hoped she was okay. I don't even remember what she wrote. Probably she told me about her memories of snow, how she's looking forward to the future, how she's okay in there, despite it all. We started sipping coffee together over the phone every Friday, dreaming about her life when she comes home. How she would buy a blue-red dress, cook for herself, whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted. And how she would always have a fresh pot of Folgers ready in the kitchen machine. And she did it. After 45 years, she came home. Once, we sat on a pier in Seattle, eating clam chowder and fish and chips, and she said, "I think I can fall in love with you," in her sweet, silly way. And we laughed until we were finally still. 2. We sat on the ferry to Vashon on a foggy, monotone morning. Front row seats on an empty deck facing the waves. "So this is what freedom feels like?" she asked the sea. And what can you say but yes, yes it is. I once let her drive my car. It was terrifying. We finally pulled off the street, got out. "Are you okay?" I asked and gave her a hug. "I was starting to freak out there a little bit," she said. I could feel hesitation in that hug. I wonder how often she had been held for similar fear. 4. We ate cherry pie and drank black coffee in a diner featured in Twin Peaks. She had never seen the show, but unironically loved cherry pie and lots of coffee. That day, I dropped her off, gave her a hug. Planning to talk on Friday morning like we usually do. This Friday, though, was Norma lived to 65 years and 364 days. She didn't call and I tried to. She didn't text. I texted. Then her friend called me with nails. Just as she was beginning this new chapter, making a new home, she was struck and killed by the 5. Another monotone morning, another question to the sea. So this is what tragedy, unfairness, sorrow feels like. And what can you say but yes, yes it is.
Thank you, S. Our next guest is Code, pronouns are he, they. They're a surgical technologist at Seattle Children's and a member of Healthcare Workers for Trans Kids. Welcome, Code.
I've had a lot of people approach me lately and ask me how I'm doing. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate you asking, but I find myself in a position where I can either lie to say, how about yourself? We can both move on with our days, or I can stop for a moment. I can be real, and I can say, not so great actually. And it's hard, I find, to have that ability to acknowledge that things aren't okay for a lot of people right now. That we're not okay. Because when you do, the next question's always, I'm sorry to hear that. How can I help? What can I do? What's wrong? And I found myself not having an answer. I wish I could just say, oh, press this button, sign this petition, and all of my troubles will go away. That's not how this works. So instead, I laugh and I say, it's just the state of the world, you know, and we both go on pretending that everything's fine. But lately, I've been thinking about what I can say, about what we can all do to protect not only the trans people, but our trans youth. And the answer I found is simple. This. You can band together with the community. You can ally yourself with trans people, with the trans kids that need support right now. You can show up in person for them. A few people apart doesn't make nearly the statement that hundreds of bodies does. The people that we have physically showing up, the more of us there are, the harder we are to rule. You can show up for them by calling your representatives, by emailing people that are making decisions for us and letting your voice be heard. And you cannot let this happen silently. You can talk about the issues when you can, with whoever you can. Make it hard for people to simply ignore what's going on. Yes, it's painful to be informed, but it's more painful to see our communities torn to shreds in silence. Trans people just want to be happy. It took 25 years of my life for me to find a sense of comfort, to feel comfortable to be like, if I can help a trans child bring that same solace and dedicate to that same moments with their body, then it's my job as a healthcare provider to do it. Gender affirming care is real. It's tangible healthcare services, and I will defend it with every fiber of my being. And I hope you all will do the same.
Thank you, Code. The next speaker will be anonymous. Their pronouns are they, them. They are also a healthcare worker at Seattle Children's and a part of Healthcare Workers for Trans Kids. Welcome.
I am grateful to be here today, celebrating a win on Friday and the restoration of care to our trans and gender diverse children at Seattle Children's. While this was a momentous win, we all know that the fight isn't over. The fight won't be over until the federal government recognizes us as people again, until we are free at a national level to be equal and to be accepted. Luckily, I stand amongst warriors who have fought their whole lives to exist without fear, so I know I am in good company. Right now, we must do everything in our power to stand up, speak out, and get organized. We will not bend to oppression and discrimination. We exist, we are here, and we stand strong together.
Woo!
We know that when one of our family members is attacked, we fight back. We take care of one another, we stand for freedom and for justice, and we will win.
Woo!
When I am feeling overwhelmed or hopeless, I am reminded of the many marginalized communities who have walked these same roads before us. We follow in the footsteps of great leaders, and with our own hands and hard work, we will build upon the roads that were once made. I am reminded of when MLK called for equality in the 1950s, despite the oppression his community experienced. of the first Pride Parade in the 1970s that lobbied for gay rights and how they overcame. I am reminded that during the AIDS crisis of the 80s, when hysteria and bigotry prevented research, they overcame. Let history repeat itself. When we stand together fighting the same battle, no matter our differences, we will overcome. We know that this battle is not over for our children and for our loved ones. We know that this is a temporary reprieve, a sigh of relief. Now is the time to collect ourselves and gather our allies and community members to come together. We know that this is a marathon, and what is at stake is our freedom and our lives. We come together to stand in the cold and in the rain, sharing space, sharing tears, and sharing hope for a better tomorrow. One day, we will see a world in which all people, regardless of race, gender, or sexual orientation, live a life of open authenticity, love without shame, and existence without discrimination.
Woo! Yeah. Woo!
I will now share with you all a poem that I wrote to heal my inner child. For context, my coming out story was not what I had wanted for myself. But the following poem helped me to imagine a different story. You see, I chose to rewrite the words that were said into words that I wanted to hear. And while it does not change the past, I wrote these words to imagine a different response, one that honors and cherishes my own inner soul. If you feel like these words resonate with you, I invite you to join me in rewriting our story and paving the way for the future of our youth. Daughter, son, or child, you are mine. From starlight to the sweet sun, I will love who you are. Tell me the name and what to call you. How is it that you prefer? He, him, she, her, season, or they, them. To me, it matters. Because it matters. Take a breath. Let it out. You are safe in his arms. I will call you by no other name, the name you choose. And in my arms, I will hold your identity sacred, your authenticity honored. Child of mine, I will love all that you are.
Thank you so much. We now have time for 2 or 3 trans and gender diverse members of our community to share a heartfelt message. We would love to hear stories of hope, healing while we build connection during these uncertain times. If any youth are present that would like to share, this is an opportunity to do that, but just know regardless, we're fighting for you and you're safe with us. I also want to point out that inside the shelter house we have snacks and drinks and toys and seats, and there's chairs here for you also. So please come and get out of the rain when it feels good for you. I'm first going to introduce community member Julian, who's going to share their poem. Their thoughts. They're going to share their thoughts. Thank you, Julian.
Hello. First off, I would like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming out here today despite the gloomy weather. I mean, I know that's something we're all used to. Thank you for showing true solidarity with our beautiful community here. It is more important than ever to stand alongside our vulnerable, to advocate for women's rights, to defend whoever our corrupt federal administration has in their crosshairs, to live and love alongside your queer neighbors. True change comes from community, from what we have going on right here, right now. But it can't stop here. When you get home, please check in with your neighbors, Work with everyone you can to build community in all corners of our beautiful city. Make sure your friends, family, and acquaintances are aware of what's happening in D.C. and our federal government. It is incredibly easy to self-isolate in this age of social media. Change begins with us, and we need to build momentum and keep the pressure on.
Woo.
Thank you again
Woo.
for showing up and demonstrating that you care.
Thank you. Next, we're going to welcome up Rosalina and parents from the community. Welcome.
Woo.
Let's not back down. Now is the time to keep fighting. Now is the time to keep going. We need to stand up and resist all that is coming our way, and it's going to take everything we got. Thank you.
Woo.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to welcome Reese, he, they, pronouns from community.
Thank you all for coming here today. This is wonderful. I'm going to get personal here. I moved away from my evangelical family to Seattle. The world I found here was a paradise compared to Indiana. Queer businesses and flags everywhere. I felt safe walking down the street, holding hands with my boyfriend for the first time. It was a beautiful dream, and I loved living here for a year and a half. But unfortunately,
There's back to return them at the end.
Say it again.
There's back to return them at the end.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, thank you. And as it's doing so, I'm a young, scared young trans Jewish queer man whose family fled the Nazis in World War II to here. And I am terrified that we're going to have to do the same. A wise philosopher once said, the pace of repression outstrips our ability to understand. And that is the real trick of the thought machine. It's easier to hide behind 40 atrocities than a single person. And that is exactly what we're seeing. But we will not be like that. We will not sit on the sideline when the federal government takes our rights and threatens queer and trans lives, sends human beings to concentration camps, and runs rampant on all of the programs everyday people. Thankful that every single one of you is here. Stand up and speak out. Thank you.
Them from community. Welcome.
Hey everyone, I'm Beck. I'm a pediatric occupational therapist in the Seattle area for 20 years. I've worked with a lot of kids. The kids are strong and they need us. The kids need our community support. When I came to the Seattle area, I first came out and I first felt safe here in Washington State. And I'm forever grateful to you and our community for that. I am now struggling to feel safe. I am grateful for every one of you showing up here today because I see you and I feel supported by you, and we all need that. Like someone just said, it's easy to isolate and feel alone and afraid. But we need these rallies, and our children need us. We need to be strong, and we need to stand up for each other and for those that are dependent on us. So keep it up. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Next, we have Father Murr from community. Welcome.
Ain't nobody ever gonna clock me. But yes, I am a trans man. I am a trans priest. You can claim your community, you can reclaim your community. You can take up space in community. And if your community does not support your sacred being, then find or build one that does. Don't take other people's words for reading any of those books. Don't take their word for what the Constitution says. Don't take their word for what the Bible says. If you want to break down some of that stuff, feel free to hit me up later or go look up trans theology or intersex theology, queer theology. You'd be amazed what's out there that they don't want you to know because they are using their version of whatever religion they've made out of that book to control. And to be really honest, the church is culpable for having done that since it climbed in bed with Constantine. Okay? We got a long history of doing this wrong. But I want you to know that we are out here and there are communities that do accept and support us. My bishop worries about me every time I do this, but she absolutely backs me every time I do this. And yes, you heard her pronouns right too. So, make your space. Read your own version. Go dig into what things really mean. Take your truth, because your truth is the only most holy thing about you, is who you authentically are. Peace and blessings.
Thank you, Father. Next, we have an anonymous community member who's here to share some of their thoughts. Welcome. Oh, and from psychiatry, the field of psychiatry. Thank you.
I've worked at the practice where I'm now at for about 1.5 years, and I've seen a lot of young trans people come in. They didn't necessarily begin their medical transition with us, but their experiences that I've seen, people coming in with their child and leaving happier. I don't know how anyone can see that as a bad thing. These are people, there's a great deal of suffering that they are experiencing that is alleviated by this care. And anything that you can do to help protect that is good for this community. I know that these providers, and I know many providers, especially here, will fight this as long as they can. But it will take everyone outside of healthcare fighting alongside them in order to protect it and keep it legal for them so that they don't lose their licenses for taking care of these children. Thank you.
So beautiful to see solidarity in our community. We're gonna welcome next poet M. M can come up and deliver, please. M is a local writer, activist, and parent to their favorite mini human and a magical pair of black cats named Boo and Bob. As an autistic adoptee, their poetry searches for an answer to the ever-elusive question of identity. A poet since age 5, M has spent 3 decades trying to write his way back home. Welcome, M. I'm going to start with the poem I originally named Ineffable, but I think I want to rename it There Are Way More Than 2 Genders You. My gender is not static. My gender evolves. It mutates. It branches in various directions, all in a single moment. It can hang at the tip of one branch for days, months, then abruptly shift to the fork in the wood, straddling multiple identities, belonging to neither, and wholly embodying both, simultaneously. My gender can live at the intersection of so many meanings. You could spend 3 lifetimes reading the outlines of the bark, the layers of rings within, the intricacies weathered down years of storm stories told beneath the accumulated rims, and still, you'd only scratch the surface of what it means to mean too many things to label.
Woo!
All right. When I came out to my mother, her first reaction was to comment on the volume of my voice when I said transgender, as if being myself in public wasn't already loud. I lowered my voice. You reach adulthood when your parents' reactions to your unblossoming start to sound hollow like an empty cage. When you look into a mirror and discover you are the only and ugliest salvation your family ever inherited. Do you reach full-grown adulthood when your reflection rejects you in your second language? The language you kept safe in your back pocket is an exhausted compass that only points towards the ocean. What about respect for my elders means mute myself? Are you still an adult if you just want to go home? I learned that being free isn't what everyone wants, especially if you find custody convenient. And I know that you think my gender makes you angry that your Jesus did not die for this, but the truth is, my gender binds you to fear, uncovers your discomfort from seeing the rapture of my reach, these bare wrists. What about my freedom scares me? I named myself Igbo to worship the slave rebellion that drowned their captors, rose into the sky, turned into birds, and flew back home. Why would you deny me this worship? Why would you keep this story trapped in a book? And don't mistake me for fearless. It's taken me a whole lifetime to get back home, but I'm still willing to come back for you if you want to come. Jaden Smith's skirt, Billy Porter's entire wardrobe, Lizzo's exposed thong, Monroe Bergdorf's middle finger, Zaya Wade, Harriet Tubman, my beard, my pronouns, my lips blossoming on a shoulder blade. We are the efflorescence of eternal emancipation. Come with us. Before I leave, tell my mother I've uninstalled the whisper in my authentic. And if you don't want to untie the knots of shame, trying to convince you compromises the wind, cradling my wings, so stay in bliss. But ask yourself, are you free? Or are you conditioned to this captivity? Whatever the answer is, please let me live. I just want to go home. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, I just got one more for y'all. All right. Los Angelinos attempt to recover or flee from the flames. Executive order. On the other side of the world, we watch a massacre in real time. Executive order. ICE raids the nation and tears people away from their own lives. Executive order. Beyonce wins Country Album of the Year. Executive order. Plane crash, plane crash. Taylor Swift's plane is fine and she's on her way to the Super Bowl. Executive order. And Elon Musk is for some reason involved in the US government and its finances. There is a military strategy known as rapid dominance. Rapid dominance uses massive force and strategic spectacle to cloud the enemy's judgment, to flood their senses with so much shock and awe their spirit is too damaged to fight back. Unsurprisingly, this strategy was developed specifically for application by the US military. If you look around, there is a stunted sea of eyes, staring into the glow of the dumpster fires holding us captive, spellbound by the flickering flames, weaving an endless ballet of destruction. Our spirits are damaged. The most difficult question to answer these days is, how are you? The most difficult task is waking up. The most difficult feeling is uncertain. The most common phrase these days is, what the fuck? Today, I ask you to carve onto your skins, will not be the days that end us. These are the days that will ignite us. Your voice is not terrified, it's a signal. Your heavy breaths are not distressed, they are preparing for a journey. How am I? Terrible, but I'm still fucking here. Culture, waking up becomes an uprising. Uncertain is just an uncharted map, and what we know best is making paths where none were meant to exist. What the fuck is the hook? Sticking together.
Woo!
breakbeats, MCs make a club hit, tackers spill it in wild style, sample it, chop it, screw it, remix it, and spit it back to the world until you can't get out of your head. When we ask the same question, as a riot of voices rising at once, the answer becomes impossible to ignore. We do not compose in a vacuum, we compose in collision. Each stroke, each verse sharpening the next. We retaliate with life stories at the open mics. We disobey with our homemade rhythms on school desks. We make maps of our escapes with dirty paintbrushes. We build lifelines with movement, with bodies that refuse to fold. We create, does not disappear. It rewrites conditioning and chokes it out. Remember, culture outlives strategy. They cannot erase what cannot die. Thank you all so much.
Woo!
How's everyone doing today?
Woo!
Such a lovely sunny day, isn't it? I want to thank everyone for being here and just coming out to show for support and being here to show who you are and what you can do. As a young person, I never thought I'd be here to show who we are as a people and what we can do. It really shows what the world is in right now, and I want everyone to embrace who they are for what they believe in. Aloha, talofa, malolele, kia orana, bula, and hello. My name is Victoria George, and I am part of the youth program for Utopia, Washington. I'm here to talk about why gender-affirming care is so important for youth nowadays. When it comes to gender-affirming care for youth, it should come with a certain extent. If you have the resources and support by parents and guardians, you should be able to do what you can do. But they shouldn't stop you from being who you are or what you can do. For us trans young people, it allows us to live authentically, aligning our physical bodies with our gender identity within. Gender-affirming care helps us promote a healthier, happier life and helping us feel more at home within our body. We feel more confident, experience with less anxiety and depression, and more likely to thrive socially and academically. This care doesn't just protect our emotional well-being, it helps safeguard our future. Before settlers came onto our islands, the Pacific Islands, we had a third gender. Within them, they hold mana. Mana was a spiritual power that Mahu people used to help their community. Because Mahu were seen as having both masculine and feminine qualities, their mana was believed to give them special abilities. They used this power to perform important spiritual and helping tasks, guide others, and keep balance within their communities. Their unique connection to both energies made them respected and important in a traditional Pacifica society. I am that third gender. As a trans youth of the Pacific, I will not let no settler marginalize me for who I am or what I can do with my body. Every young person deserves to feel safe, supported, and valued. Gender-affirming care is a fundamental part of that. It's a way to tell young people that their identities matter, that their well-being is important, and that they're worth living an authentic and fulfilling life. The impossible is always possible. We can go beyond expectations, to go beyond our capabilities, to go beyond who we think we are. The mana that we all can hold together. Thank you.
To my children, I love you, I see you, I know you. Together we braid bracelets. You teach me all the best patterns. We sneak scissors to cut the strings, but I take them away when you aren't looking. And when you see those threads of blue in little knots about your wrist, it will be how you remember that I care for you. I'm aware that you've been hurt, so I make you this bracelet because out of everyone who has abused you, I want you to remember that I care for you. Together we play cards, the same used deck of basic playing cards that another of my children held. You see how worn they have become, but with this one deck we can play so many games. We can escape together to a place where you don't have to think about the plastic bag that earlier you wanted to wrap around your neck when even breathing felt too hard. Right now, you don't have to think at all about the cords that dangle from the walls, the very cords that you use to check your oxygen, your blood pressure, and your heart. Together, we match kings and queens in jacks. We laugh and listen to music. And when the melody gets too sad, I see you. And I smile and ask if you want a new playlist, because I recognize the hurt that lies behind those eyes. And when you tell me the world would be better off without you, my heart grieves, but I don't let you see, because it is the greatest honor that you have trusted me. Instead, I tell you the truth. The world would not be better. Look around. How many others are like you? Uniquely authentic, queer, and kind. When I leave you tomorrow, will you be okay? The sick babies in the room next door will recover from their colds and runny noses. And I ask myself every day, will you also recover? Will you eat? Will you take your medication safely? Will you love your body? Will your skin stay unbroken? Will your heart be okay? Because more than anything else, I want you in this world.
Thank you. We have just a couple more speakers. If you haven't come into the shelter house for sensory toys or a break or food or drinks, please come do that. Next, I'd like to welcome Yoshi Paranzarhigan. Yoshi is joining us from the Seattle Trans and Non-Binary Choral Ensemble, and they've offered to perform a piece for us. We'll have just another speaker after that, so welcome Yoshi.
I'm sharing a couple of poems and then a song. So the first poem is called The Safety of Grief. Grief drips cold, clear, and solemn from my shoulders to my fingertips as my racking sobs shake the tub I've sunken into. My cries blend with the falling water from the shower head. I am unsure whether tears actually leave my eyes, but I know I am shaking, gasping for air in the tumult of 1,000 painful memories I couldn't let myself feel past the first tear until now. I remember the rejection, the laughs and jeers, the yelling, throwing, the abandonment, teachers scolding without reason, the pain my father inflicted, the touch I never wanted. But more than anything, I remember the fear and the guilt. It was real. It is real. And I break down in sobs of self-validation for the pain I needed to feel years ago. I grieve the childhood I never had, the fear that took my security from me, the guilt and shame that stripped my sense of worth, the hurt that took my innocence from me. I know they hurt me again and again. I know those small things still burn alive in my memory for a million reasons, and none of those reasons include my fault. Burn. To burn my memories and still have them live in the fire, to bury them in flames and have them still roar up into the air. Air I couldn't breathe for who knows how long because my guilt and fear choked me from the inside out. Inside out, I give in to my reality. I am child of pain, fear, and trauma. I am survivor of psychological and physical brutality. I am survivor and I gasp for air, knowing I am finally safe enough to succumb to my brokenness and heal the deepest wounds from the hairs upon my skin to the vessels of my shallow bleeding heart. I am safe to grieve, to breathe, to be. I am safe to hold my child tight in my arms, to release him from prosecution once and for all. I am safe within me. The second poem is called Survivor's Heart. I once was a little girl. Now I'm a me-gendered semi-grown up with a faded scarlet letter on my chest and a burning desire to carve it out. I was broken, still am in pieces, but they come together like mosaic of tempered glass. I was dying trying to survive. Now I'm tripping on a dream of being big, bright, and beautiful. Phasing in, phasing out, keeping my mind on a tightrope between hope and expectation. I turn. I run. Whether to or from, I run with the energy I've stolen from my fears and dreams. If ever I look back at my shame, I marvel at the distance I can stare down the barrel of my loaded history and the possibilities now I leave it all behind. Wasn't it just yesterday I could pinch myself and still feel nothing but the emptiness of my mechanical heart? Wasn't it just yesterday I could breathe my life away and still be paralyzed in a whirlwind of self-doubt and hopelessness? I carry bags and boxes of fragmented memories and ghosts in my encapsulated mosaic heart, and clasp my hands for in a secular prayer for the chance to see my unborn dreams, for I am nobody's savior but my own. So I'm going to finish off with a song. This is a song I wrote on January 3rd of this year, as it kind of dawned on me everything we're about to go through. It's the first song I've written in tenor range, which is super exciting, by the way. It's called Revolution, the Battle Cry. I will scream and shout above the thunder that rained down. Ignite the battle cry in my mind, louder than it's ever been before. And come what may, I will never back down. There's a revolution stirring in my soul, and hell if I'll be still, I will scream and shout